Video games characters have been anchoring themselves in our world for over 4 decades now. We all have our favorite console, my personal being the PS2 and its 2 unofficial mascot heroes. Ratchet and Clank, the Lombax and robot turned hero facing the evil Dr. Nefarious. And Jak and Daxter, the 2 time travelers' best friend protecting the precursor world. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, I'm Alex from SLRix and you're watching Fusion Factory, the show where I will be drawing fusion between pop culture characters. If you want to know more about how to draw and understand fusion, you can read the description where I have my entire system clearly worded out. There you will also find a playlist of all my fusion, but please by all means stick around to watch this video first. Finally, today is a bit special because I will be doing this fusion in collaboration with my good friend Jeremy. Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank being 2 dynamic duo, I decided I will be fusing the main characters and Jay the sidekicks. You might remember him from my Ben 10 fusion video, which you can find right here. And while you're there, why not subscribe and activate the bell to be notified whenever a new video comes up. This way you encourage me, you encourage Jay, and you are rewarded with quality content every week. Alright, the blah blah is done, let's take a look at our fusion materials. In a galaxy full of the most incredible technology in terms of weaponry, there is one piece of AI that is special, a broken artificial intelligence with its own conscience. Supposed to be scratched at birth, Clank managed to escape. He crashed on a little planet and then formed an unbreakable bond with his new best friend, a young Lombax named Ratchet. Teaming up with other heroes, Ratchet and Clank eventually joined force with the Galactic Ranger and the legendary duo was born. Being a Galactic Ranger, Ratchet possesses peak technology when we talk about weaponry. Whether it is short range with his Omni Wrench and the Plasmic Whip, or at long range with an incredible arsenal full of cannons. Including, but not limited to, the Suck Cannon, creating a vacuum sucking foes away, the Glove of Doom, capable of summoning small bots to fight for the wielder, and everyone's favorite dead machine, the Rip Ya a New One, or Rhino for short. Aesthetically speaking, Ratchet is a Lombax, some kind of hybrid between a feline creature and a human being. His strong feat include his feline tails and ears, his yellow fur, and the space armor he wears, reinforcing the space opera Galactic Ranger aspect and turning Ratchet into one of the heaviest armed characters in the entire galaxy. As for Clank, his sidekick and best pal robot, he can shapeshift and has multiple forms like Giant Clank or Alpha Clank. Incredibly intelligent and versatile, Clank possesses a wide range of support technology. For example, he has an helicopter mode and a jetpack mode. Aesthetically speaking, Clank is a small robot who seems to put functionality over aesthetic and seems to be built for lighter tasks. Which is kind of ironic when you think about it, because Clank is the definition of a death machine. But all that is disguised beneath the surface of a little robot that shouldn't have existed in the first place, who overcame his flaws and joined Ratchet to form one of the greatest hero team-up known in the Galactic Rangers history. Long ago, there was a race of precursor. Who were they? We don't know. Why did it construct these gigantic monoliths all across the planet? We don't know. We ask the plant, but they don't remember it. The plant asks the rocks, but the rocks don't remember it. Even the rock can't remember it. All that gave birth to a world filled with a strange life force called Echo. But each world needs a hero, and this responsibility falls on the shoulder of a young man, Jak and Daxter. Sure, why not? Man, I love Jak and Daxter so much. It's my favorite video game of all time. It was one of my first video game when I was a kid. I had it in the same time as Tarzan on the PS2, which is also pretty great from what I remember. For the story, Samos the Sage told Jak and Daxter not to go to Misty Island. Guess what they did? They went to Misty Island. Obviously, they went to Misty Island. Daxter then fell into a pool full of dark eco and was transformed into this merchandise-friendly little furry creature. Trying to undo the process, Jak and Daxter then embarked into a journey to find Gul Acheron the Sage, master of Dark Eco, only human being capable of transforming Daxter back into a human. Jak himself accumulates a lot of powers and ability. Incredible at hand-to-hand fighting and possess great strength, stamina, durability and speed. But by far his greatest feat is his ability to canalize eco through his body. Each different type of eco comes with a different type of power. Blue eco, the power of movement, grants Jak super speed and the ability to infuse energy into machines that has been sleeping for years, even decades. Green eco is life energy which he uses to heal himself. It also has the power to uncorrupt dark eco filled entities such as plants. Red eco makes Jak super strong, granting each of his blows a deadly strength capable of annihilating tough enemies without even touching them. Yellow eco allows him to shoot fireballs that may be considered his greatest power, as there is no element in the game that it cannot break. That's for the first game, because in Jak 2, Jak was kidnapped by Baron Praxis and experimented on with Dark Eco until he became an eco freak. Dark Jak canalizes all the destructive power of Dark Eco, plus some of his own, such as invisibility or invulnerability, only to name a few. Unfortunately, being corrupted by Dark Eco, Jak's soul was tainted and he was unable to become the hero he was destined to be. That until he came into contact with Eco in its truest form, Light Eco. Light Jak in Jak 3 is way different than Light Jak in Jak and Daxter. If you want to know why, be sure to check my theory about it. Light Jak can heal, create unbreakable shield, fly, and he can even stop time, making Jak one of the most versatile fighters known to men. Plus, in this form he can still use guns, so at this point... Visually speaking, Jak evolves in a biopunk environment clashing technology and nature. His strong feats include his Survivor of the Apocalypse aesthetic, his Super Saiyan-like hair, and his crazy long ears. I was always curious about how and why humans in the Jak-verse have these kind of ears, but I guess this is just how things work. But what makes Jak a complete character is his longtime friendship with the hot soul Daxter. In terms of powers, Daxter isn't really that great, but when we talk about skills, he is very agile, quick, and light on his toes, all that augmented with the greatest skill of all, sarcasm.
I'll say something really teary at the funeral, like, "Oh, I gotta get changed back now!" Step 1, stay alive. Step 2, think about not doing something like that again! While you're down there, could you rub my feet?
His strongest visual feat are obviously his animalistic approach and his color palette made of yellow and orange. What I think makes Daxter great in terms of design is that he looks like a creature that could exist in our universe. Together, Jak and Daxter have faced Gull, Maya, Metalcore, the Dark Creator, Baron Praxis, and countless other evil beings, using all the tools at their disposal as best as they can and always counting on each other, cementing their friendship and facing the threat as the greatest team-up there can be. The fusion of Jak and Ratchet is a path that I was bound to take eventually. They are the spiritual successor to Lara Croft and Crash Bandicoot when we talk about iconic PlayStation characters. I was born in 1998, so the PlayStation 2 was my first console, and when I was a kid in the schoolyard, they were Jak and Daxter player or Ratchet and Clank players. Oh, and there's Sly Cooper too. Does anyone remember Sly? If you haven't lived in these times, it's difficult to understand how it was 20 years ago, but the fact is, Jak or Ratchet, it was almost a console war part 2. Except both were on the same console, not the same thing as Mario or Sonic. But you know what they say, make love, not war, so that's why I decided to merge these two icons that forged so many pure-hearted kids into teenagers with burning passion to finish on a courageous and empathic adult. This is... Jaret! A clone of Jak mixed with the DNA of a Lombax trained by the Galactic Ranger into becoming the greatest hero among their ranks. He can canalize eco just like Jak, but has the advantage of being as agile as Ratchet, making him more versatile. He is also an expert of heavy weaponry, mechanic, and hand-to-hand combat, always carrying an eco shotgun on his back, but his main weapon is his range gauntlet on his right arm. A short cannon that can also act as a fist strike amplificator in any eco color. I went for a Foster fusion, respecting the general idea of both fusion material and creating an entirely new character. For the Ratchet part, I based my character on weaponry and mechanic, embracing the space punk he has over Jak's scrap iron material. Although for the clothing, I took inspiration from Jak's design, especially from Jak 2 and 3, keeping the explorer idea. Both fusion materials have pretty similar color palette, so I just embraced the blue and maroon as our main color. I think it was for the best. I didn't represent dark nor like Jak, as I wasn't a huge fan of the edgy and greedier shift in creative process between Jak and Daxter and Jak 2, and I stuck with the first game's vibe. The result is a warrior, ultimate soldier of good, protecting the galaxy against Nefarious, Gull, and anything that dares try to hurt it. Normally, this is the time where I beg you to subscribe, but you can do it anyway. But today we have another fusion made by my good friend Jeremy, who merged the sidekick. This is Jay's
Clanxter!
To quote Jeremy on this fusion, I don't know anything about these two characters. I remember me and one of my childhood friends used to play Jak 3 on his PlayStation 2, but that's about it. I used Daxter as the base for the drawing, and I added a robotic part of Clank on him. I gave him robotic ears just to make him pop more. Since I don't really know a lot about these two characters, I suspected from the shape language of these two that Daxter has a lot of triangle and circle shape and Clank has a lot of squares. I used a mix of triangle and square shape for this drawing. I also restricted the color palette to make him visually more effective, since combining the color palette of the two characters would result in a chaotic color mess. So here we see Jay went straight for a frame fusion using Daxter as the main body and adding some of Clank element directly on it, resulting in a convenient creature. I really like the scrap iron aesthetic where we are not sure if this is Daxter wearing an armor or a cyborg version of the character. What I like about Jay's aesthetic is his way of creating cartoony character, and it works well here, especially the angular shape of the silhouette and the shadows being drawn in solid color rather than to make a gradient of light. An aesthetic that is not very realistic but proves to be very efficient in doing what it does best, and what it does best now is creating a character that I could see being enjoyed by 9 or 29 years old me as a target demographic and the best sidekick for one of the greatest heroes in the known galaxy. So that's it, guys. Tell me, what did you think about these two fusions? Which was your favorite, and what character do you want me to fuse next? You can leave a comment containing all these elements beneath the video, and then remember to subscribe and activate the bell to be notified whenever a new video comes up. You can also follow me on Instagram to support my artwork and find all my other fan art. I also have a DeviantArt now, so that's about it. If you are an artist, be sure to reach to me in my social medias, and who knows, maybe someday we'll do a collab. Then share this video with all your PlayStation, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter fan friends, and as always, thanks for watching.